especially for self-defense and law enforcement stuff, if I am spot on with all my marksmanship skills, all my gun handling skills, my movement, that frees the conscious mind up to make better use of force decisions.
Absolutely.
You know?
In this episode of Ranges, Backstops, and Berms, we examine a speed shooting instructor in the great state of Tennessee, leading his students through a 6-month journey of ballistic discovery. And later on, I get put through the paces on one of the instructor's favorite drills. All happening right here and now on Ranges, Backstops, and Berms. South of Interstate 40 freeway, between Memphis and Nashville, there is a town called Lexington. But this is just a reference point for where we need to go. As you continue south, there's an even smaller town called Enville. We arrived during a heat wave in central Tennessee. I can't tell you exactly what the temperature was, but it was so hot, I saw a hound dog chasing a rabbit, and they were both walking. But if you are an invited guest, and get on the right path, this is where you'll find Tyler Firearms Instruction Academy, owned and operated by Keith Tyler. Keith and I worked together in law enforcement for several decades, but while my energy was mainly in the tactical and defensive use of firearms, Keith's physical skills and hard work led him to high achievement in the realm of competitive shooting. This includes being rated as a Grand Master in several USPSA classes.
One of the things that I wanted to point out that on Ranges, Backstops, and Berms, it's our interest in seeing as many people as possible receive in-person training so that they can receive the feedback and the correction necessary to improve in real time. Video instruction has its place, I believe, but it alone, video and do-it-yourself type of training is limited in this field. There are a lot of things you can learn to do on YouTube. I would say firearms training, unfortunately, is not the successful one. It would be actually going to training and experiencing those things and being able to question, not only have feedback and correction, but also ask questions to go, hey, I didn't get that. A lot of times in video, you only get something from one angle, so you're kind of missing maybe some of the other angles, which that's just the way it is.
When we arrived, the TFI home range was still getting its finishing touches in place, but it is definitely open for business. TFI's ability to set up national-level courses of fire with space left over is ideal for all kinds of firearms training. In addition, Keith has commissioned the build of a few nasty target systems, which can cause headaches to any shooter with gear shifting issues. Keith and I got a chance to sit down and discuss his training structure.
I offer 2 paths.
Let's hear them.
I have 1-day classes. They're generally 7 to 8 hour day classes.
Okay.
They're not short. They're very detailed. And I got tired of going to classes that would drink from the fire hose for 2 days, no handouts, leave there, and nothing gets transferred to long-term memory,
right?
Let alone instant recall.
Right.
Because there's
2 weeks later, you're trying to remember half the stuff the instructor taught you.
Yeah, and I got tired of that type of thing. I'm like, I'm not going to do it that way. I don't care if that makes me more money. I want to have good students.
Right.
So I broke it up into skill sets. So handgun 1 was what I call handgun 1. To the public, I call surgical speed shooting.
Yeah.
It is all about how do I shoot the pistol fast and accurate? What skills do I need and what components of skills? That's where I try to break things down. It's not just grip the gun like this and move it here. That doesn't tell somebody how to grip the gun and move it there.
Right.
So I go into a lot of detail and try to do it in a way that imprints information into the short-term memory that'll transfer properly and orderly to long-term.
Wow.
So there's a chance for recall. They are intense trainings, 500 rounds, lots of dry fire repetitions, so I can get their technique proper. So when they go home and apply it to homework, I know they're doing the right thing. They're not doing this unsupervised correction, right?
Right.
And
right.
making their own stuff up.
Right.
But an academy is only as great as its students. In this case, they include high-functioning individuals who are business entrepreneurs, skilled master tradesmen, And then there's Andy.
I will say I failed on homework. He gives us homework every month, but that's my fault. It's not his.
Okay, do you want to apologize about not getting your homework done? Did the dog eat it or something?
No, my dog didn't eat it. I just was being lazy.
Andy is a good sport and an even better sportsman.
And I have taken a JJ Rakaza class. He reminds me a lot of JJ's teaching skills, and I learned a lot with JJ. It's a lot of knowledge in 2 days, to where the academy, it's broke into 6-month program. So I feel like I can get a lot more knowledge out of this and have.
And one of the things, because of the way I train, again, you get the lesson plan, you get all the drills, you leave there knowing how to train.
Yes.
So it gives you a blueprint on how to proceed with your training.
Yep.
Go through that learning curve of trying to get a little better?
Oh yeah, most definitely. The program he has with the homework he gives, and even though I'm guilty of not doing it like I should sometimes, but if you'll follow that, that type of training is exactly what I did when I was making my way to master class in carry optics. That's what it takes. It's good for entry-level competition shooters, the academy, all the way up to master class guys that are just looking to make that next bump to GM. There's something to be learned from everything he teaches out here.
That's great.
And if you'll put his program to work for you, it'll definitely take you to the next level.
So you not only have this academy, but it's also geared timing-wise throughout in a portion of the year that towards the end or at the end of that, there's usually some sort of a big match that your students can go out and actually.
And that's why it's 6 months this year, because Nationals is month 7.
Understood.
The concept of the academy of coming in every month and learning from it, and having a coach that knows what he's doing, like Keith, can communicate and assess your weaknesses, your strengths, and give you homework that you can work on. But month over month, he can see how are you applying what you're learning and keep tweaking it. And I think that's it makes this a special, concept and a special place. I mean, look at this facility, it's awesome.
So, if you've seen one of our instructor spotlight videos before, you know that I ask each instructor to put me through one of their signature courses of fire. My assurance, as always to the audience, is I will shoot it with no warm-ups, no practice shots, and no excuses. Keith modified an existing drill and calls it the Flat Z. That's 2 8-inch steel plates at 10 yards and 2 USPSA targets at 7 yards. The drill is run in 4 different stages, starting on a different target each time in a Z configuration. The goal is to complete each stage in under 5 seconds with clean hits. What I liked about this drill was how often it forced the shooter to switch gears throughout, while never being able to establish a pattern. It was literally different each time. The Flat Z made me think of force-on-force scenario, where even the same situation can start and end differently each time. As you can see, most of my stages were not clean, but I encourage you to try the same drill under the same conditions and beat my score. If you're interested in learning more about the Tyler Firearms Instruction Academy in Tennessee, or scheduling classes with TFI closer to your home, Keith can be contacted at tfiacademy.net. If you know of a competent firearms instructor who should be spotlighted on ranges, backstops, and berms, drop us a line over at rbbforme.com. That's it for this time, but we'll catch you right back here soon on ranges, backstops, and berms.